the different outfits. I love to see how happy people are to worship Jesus, amen? Because that's what we strive to do best. Worship Him and Him only. Not man, not the things that God has given us, amen? So we're excited to be here this morning. If you are guest visiting, either for the first time or you've been here for many weeks, we are thrilled to have you within our corridors because we all join hands. We all join hands in striving to be like Jesus, amen? That's right, that's right. Our God is an awesome God. I tell you what, it is always great to start a sermon with great news. And right now, I would like to have Michelle Gonzalez come up on stage and give us the great news, amen?
Tag team. So I have fantastic news. Baby Ace is here. I didn't memorize all the stats. Okay, he was born at 3:51 yesterday.
Wow.
After several hours of laboring, mommy and baby are doing awesome. He weighed 7 pounds, 13 ounces, 21 and a half inches. They did have to monitor him, just normal baby stuff, but they're doing fantastic. So please be praying for them as they transition into this fantastic role of parenthood. Her mom will be visiting for a couple weeks, so we're going to do meals after her mom leaves. I know a couple people have asked, so I'll get that information out. But just please, they're not ready for visitors yet, but they'll be opening it up when they're ready. So share some love with them and some prayers.
Amen. Amen. And those of us who have been in the game for a while are telling the fries today, join the club, amen? Join the club. Baby Ace's middle name is Carlito.
Wow. That is cool.
Y'all know where I'm going with that. Come on now, y'all know the movie Carlito's Way?
Yeah, that's,
Oh my goodness.
I know it. Al
I gotta teach
Pacino.
y'all some stuff, man.
Al Pacino, yeah.
And I know some of y'all judging me right now. You can deal with that one, we gotta, wow. Yeah, Carlito's Way is a great movie with Al Pacino, and so, I was just telling the fries yesterday, man, your boy gonna have his way all his life with y'all. I gotta give y'all. What an awesome piece of great news. We are incredibly thrilled to have Ace around and to have all these babies around, right? What a blessing. I really believe that when God blesses all of us with all these kids, that means that there is good health in the church. Because he feels that he can bring his children within those realms, amen? So let's be encouraged by that. I love what we're going to talk about today. Because it's going to be a little bit gory. Yeah. It's going to be a little bit scary. A little interesting. It's something that I believe we don't talk about much. Matter of fact, I think that on purpose, we strive away from these subjects. But we're gonna talk a little bit about that today. Of course, we're not going to be able to go into all the depth and details because we just don't have a lot of time. And I think what's great about that is that you get to do your own personal Bible study. To find out more about what God wants you to be taught on these subjects. Growing up, as you know, as many of you guys know, grew up in Abidjan, Ivory Coast, which is a West African country. Abidjan is a beautiful city, huge, big, full of life, full of zest. And yes, we do have movie theaters there. I remember, going to the movies when I was younger, and for some reason I like horror movies, scary movies. I don't know why. One of my favorite movies is this movie called Bram Stoker's Dracula. 1995. Gary Oldman playing Dracula. You have Keanu Reeves in there and a couple of other people. That's a pretty scary movie. But in the history of scary movie making, we deal with various words that are powerful, that have even kind of overtaken the way we do things in our society today. In fact, they're so big that they've been around for decades. We're still making movies about them. You have someone like Freddy Krueger, right?
Yep.
You got Jason, Michael Myers. Those are the three I can think of. Of course, you got people like Dracula and things like that. Where am I going with that? The title of the lesson today is, who are you battling against? Who are you battling against? You know, when I was in Los Angeles, I used to work at Wells Fargo Bank in Malibu, California. And I remember this lady who used to come to the bank all the time to bank with us. Very, very nice woman. She had a couple of kids that became friends. And our friendship took a bit of a funky turn at some point. Not really based on me, but something that she was thinking. We were talking a little bit about the movie Harry Potter at the time was huge. The first maybe one or two Harry Potter movies. This was in 2008 or so. And I remember the first time we talked about Harry Potter, she went off on me. She did, in the bank. Because as far as she was concerned, how can I call myself a true Christian and I enjoy movies like Harry Potter? Movies full of quote-unquote demons and witchcraft. And so for her, this was completely uncalled for. Our friendship had to end right then and there. And I remember being shaken by that. Wow. Based on the premise of a motion picture stemming from literature written by someone, a friendship is gonna end. And that's what we deal today with media, with Hollywood, is that it is very entertaining. We are blessed to have it. But it goes far sometimes, especially in our thinking. Who do we battle against? Many times when we think about demons, we think about these entities. We view a certain body. You have something in your mind that depicts the resemblance of a demon. Could be something with a tail, something horrific looking. Another demon that we've been dealing with is Predator. There's a movie out right now, Predator. Predator been going on for a long time. Those are scary individuals. They're usually really, really horrific looking. Horrible. Bad. Villainous. Is that who we're battling today? Is that what we think about when we think about a demon? Ephesians chapter 6. The Bible says in verse 10, finally, be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. We're starting to enter the realms of demons, the devil's schemes. Verse 12, for our struggle is not against flesh and blood. It's not against what you can see. It's not against what you can depict in your mind based upon Hollywood entertainment. Our battle is not against Freddy Krueger. I wish it was. It would have been easier. But it is against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. What's great about the scripture is that we usually read from 10 to 18. Why? Because we want to bypass this quick little part here that talks about the battle and who it's against. We want to go straight to the armor, the arsenal of weaponry that God has given us in order to battle adequately against evil. It's easier to go to that. It's more positive. It's happier. It makes us feel victorious, and we are. But we don't stop for a minute to ponder upon these evil forces, the devil's schemes, the spiritual forces who fight against us on a daily basis. Who are you battling against? See, I'd like for us to think about that question today as we go through the sermon. As we go through our day, through our week. Who is your enemy? Is it the person next to you who hurt your feelings last week? Is it your wife who said some bad things to you and you just can't get over it? Is it your husband who did this and that to you? Is it your kids who are driving you nuts? Can you tell what I'm going through? I got 2 little munchkins, boy, I tell you, I can't sleep. Is it your friends? Those whom you entrusted with your emotions, with your heart, who tweaked something, who hurt you by saying something or doing something that was completely against what your vision may have been of a friendship. Is it people? Is it your co-worker? Is it the person out there who cut you off while you were driving and you're still thinking about it because of the way they did it? I was driving last week with my wife, and we're driving, and it's a 25 mile per hour zone, and I'm doing 25, trying to, follow along. And there's a car behind me. This is at night, and he's on my tail. And my wife is like, just, do your thing, keep going, whatever. I'm just looking at my eye, why are you on my tail like that? He's on my tail. And at some point I have to make a left turn to go home. So I stop. It's a stop sign. I stop. Fully stop. Usually I kind of slow down really and then I go. But I fully stop. I wanted to kind of make him a little upset. It's my sin. I stop. I even stop for about 3 seconds. Then I make my left turn. I make sure to put my blinker on. And then as I was making my left turn, I look to see who that person is. Look at her face. And all I see is a big old middle finger at me. I mean, that's someone who was angry. And I tell myself, I still want to find out who that person is. Only so I can share my faith with them. That's the weapon I use. Because my battle is not against him or her. I didn't even know if it was a lady or a man. My battle is against the devil. The schemes that he throws at me via the people. Our battle, ladies and gentlemen, is not against flesh and blood. Obviously easier said than done. Easier said than done. But there are 2 things that demons do best. shudder before our God Almighty. That's the number one thing that they do. Our first point is demons shudder before God. And the shudder is supposed to be with two D's, by the way. I apologize for my lack of linguistic skills here. James chapter 2. James chapter 2. We're going to read verses 18 and 19. But someone will say, you have faith. I have deeds. Show me your faith without deeds, and I will show you my faith by my deeds. You believe that there is one God. Good. With an exclamation mark. It's great. Even the demons believe that and shudder. They fear God. They're scared of Him. They acknowledge His power. They know who He is, what He can do. And they're demons. They're horrible. But I believe that we can imitate something from them. I believe that sometimes we don't fear God. They seem to have a better understanding of who God is. Our God, our Father. It's almost as if, as enemies of God, they know Him better than His own children. How easy it is for us to do our own thing. When you are struggling with your own purity, and it's burning you, and you're being pushed over the edge to push that button on your cell phone, to go on your computer, and look at horrid things, pornography. You know, at that moment, there's no more fear in God. Just worry about your pleasure. Let's get that over with. And God is out of the picture. It's horrible. But you know what's interesting? Is that again, our notion of demonic beings is skewed itself. When we think about the word demons, again, we associate that to a horrible looking entity. We forget that demons is just another word for sins. Pride is a demon. Have you been dealing with pride lately? Thinking that you're better than others? Someone try to talk to you about maybe a character flaw that you've completely rejected. Selfishness is a demon. Thinking about yourself? What's number one? Me. My needs. I don't care about the others. Sexual immorality is a demon. One of the most destructive forces in the history of mankind. It destroys families. It destroys marriages. Parenting. It destroys those who practice it. Their self-esteem. Their dignity. They feel they can't beat it. Pornography is a demon. Dishonesty is a demon. The smallest kind. Get to work late? Yeah, man, there was some traffic, man, but it was only for about 5 minutes. There was never traffic. that real fast, quick. Boss understands, no problem. Just keep going. But with God, that's the demon that won right there. Lying. Stealing. Things that are unfortunately so elementary in our lives. Disrespecting people. You know one of the major demons in our society today is that those who are older are looked down upon. They're viewed funny. They're made fun of. They're mocked consistently because of their age. That's a demon. These are people who are experienced in life, seasoned, who can provide so much wisdom to our youngsters. But again, what we see on TV is all about what you look like. And if at 60 or 70 or 80 you can look a certain way, then you'll be liked. Otherwise, forget about you. You're done. Finished. That's a demon. So demons are all over. Believe me, they're closer than you think. They're more accessible than you think. They shudder before God. They know who He is. Their God, Satan, they know is not even comparable to our God Almighty. So I reiterate the question. This morning, who are we battling against? I guess the right question would be, what sin have you decided to combat effectively against? What in your life is destructive? Is demoralizing you, killing you spiritually? Now that's a study to be rendered. I would like to challenge you with a practical. To sit down and ask people around you who know you to give you 10 things that I think you can work on. And look at each list. You select how many people you want to talk to. And choose what is commonly put. No, I'm going to battle against this. I can't battle against everything at the same time. But you know what? I'm going to start with this because I see this on every list. I see pride. You know, I got to work on that. And that's a demon I would like to go after. Because I want to shudder before God as well. Forget the idea of demons that we have in our heads. But you know what the second thing demons do the best? Is that even though they're shudder before God and they're scared of Him, they know who He is. You know what else they do? They stick around. They don't go any place. They only have one goal, and that's to destroy you. And by the way, oh, good night. Do they focus on what they do? They are focused. They throw all the jabs at you, the schemes. It keeps them coming. And so many times, us as Christians, we act on the defensive. And we forget that we can also attack. We'll talk about that in a second. Mark chapter 5. verses 11 to 13. This is, of course, the story of the man who was possessed by evil spirits. And upon meeting Jesus was healed eventually. But let's see this part here in Mark chapter 5, verses 11 to 14. It says, a large herd of pigs was feeding on the nearby hillside. The demons begged Jesus, set us among the pigs, allow us to go into them. He gave them permission, and the impure spirits came out and went into the pigs. The herd, about 2,000 in number, rushed down the steep bank into the lake and were drowned. Of course, Jesus had healed this man. But before he completely healed him, he had a conversation with those demons. And they told him, yo, I gotta be in something. Throw me into the pigs. Just right there. See, the demons, they don't go away. When you have done bad in one, when you feel like you've done better, it attacks somebody else that now you can help. They stick around. They don't go anyplace. Finish is the attitude that we have about, happily ever after. No longer the evil one is done. That doesn't exist in our world, brothers and sisters. Because the true evil one is Satan. And he's here. The Bible says that he's filled with fury. He's ready to go. Are we filled with fury as well against him? Are we as focused? When you're going to pick that one sin you're going to deal with, how focused are you going to be? Because it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle. I love my wife. Been married 4 years, got 2 beautiful babies. She's the queen of my life. And sometimes the king and the queen go at it.
Really?
And if you're judging me right now, that's your problem. So we got into it this past week. Yes, I was stipulating this right now. She was right in the end, but we got into it. She's over. And you know, we were talking on the phone after that when she left and she took the kids to the mall. And we got a little bit. Man, why'd you say what you said? Well, I said this because I did. So at the end, I found myself telling you know what, man? I want to be the best husband I can be. I'm going to make mistakes. I made one today. I apologize for what I did. Raising my voice, going off a little bit. You know what? Let's use this as a winning strategy. Why don't you write down a list of things you think I can do better as a husband? Now, don't overwhelm me. Just write 10. Let's start with 10 first. What's scary is that my wife still hasn't given me that list, which means that it's got to be pretty bad. So I just want to let you know, man, I'm waiting for that list. Let's get it over with. She's my partner. She's the one who knows me best, who's going to tell me what's up. The good, the bad, and the ugly. As the demons stick around, I need her to stick even closer. Who sticks closer to you? The seeds are your best friends in the kingdom who can help you. Who do you go after? Those of us who are married. Is your spouse it for you? Is he or she the person that you allow in humility. It's not always easy to hear, but in the end, it always pays out. Those guys stick around, brothers and sisters. They don't go away. That means that we have to stick around too. As long as God calls us to still remain on the corridors of this earth. The battle is real. And we've been talking about the mysteries of God. It's one of those mysteries. It just is what it is. And God calls us to battle on through, to recognize who our enemy is. And no, it's not that physical person next to you. It's a little deeper than that. In conclusion, let's go to the book of Ephesians back, Ephesians chapter 6, where we were before. Because what's great is that these sins, these demons, they're around, and we deal with them all the time. They may not look like much physically, but believe me, they are the scariest beings on earth. But what's great is that we can beat them. Because God gave us what we need. Weapons. Ephesians 6, 13 to 18, the Bible says, therefore, put on the full armor of God. So that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground, and after you have done everything to stand. Stand firm then, with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. In addition to all this, take up the shield of faith. See, all this so far, defensive weapons. Powerful. You use them and you will not be hurt. With which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. Take the helmet of salvation, another defensive weapon. And the sword of the Spirit. Now, I've talked about that before. Every single piece of weaponry mentioned in this scripture, except for one, is a defensive weapon. It's one that you have to wear in order not to get hurt. But it's one weapon that is an offensive weapon, a weapon of attack. And it happens to be the single most important of all of them. Want to know what it is? The sword of the Spirit. This is what you use, not necessarily to defend yourself, but to throw a little jab at Satan before he even comes. To set up an ambush and mess all these demons up. By the time you're done reading something in the morning, you're ready to go, all them guys come, they're gone. You know what our mistake is? We do understand how powerful the sword of the Spirit is. But many times, what do? You know, to create a checklist. We read it in the morning, and that's it. We don't read it throughout the day. And that's why the devil wins. If we're just going to rely on what we read at 6 in the morning and it's now 5 p.m., we got issues. Got to keep reading it throughout the day. Doesn't need to be a 30-minute reading every single time. Quick little scripture comes to mind. Go and read it real quick. 5 seconds. Revamp yourself. I need to do that more. I'm calling myself higher. I don't do that as often as I should. I rely on the checklist. You know what? Let me read my Bible and pray in the morning. I'll be all right. Someone came and asked me, did you read the Bible today? Yes, I did. I'm spiritual. Did you pray? Oh, yeah, 45 minutes. Oh, yeah, I went beyond the 30 that's quote-unquote required sometimes. You know, even a 5-minute prayer that's powerful will jolt you into victory. We're so to focus on numbers and legalistic stuff. That's not the God that we deal with. And it's also not the demons that we deal with. They're more focused on our soul. Both of them. Whoever wins, whether it's God or the demons, it's up to us, because we have to make a leap towards the person that's standing in order for them to win. So who you're leaping towards, it's your decision. But today I pray that we just remind ourselves once again that we are not the demons that we are called to fight against. That if anything, we're called to be unified, to be in love, to love each other, to utilize each other's strength, to not always focus so much on the proverbial negative. We love to gossip about each other all the time. What about talking good about somebody? If we can utilize the good in someone, the demon's work is limited. It totally is. Amen, brothers and sisters. I call you this week. Talk to a few people. Ask them to write you a list of 10 things. See what kind of correlates. What thing appears repetitively in those lists that you can work on for the rest of this year. Amen? God be the glory.